You know, when my grandparents moved here in 1959, 1960, it was because they understood that this was going to be the new frontier. This was part of the American dream, this opportunity to move west and get a fresh start and create a better life for your children and your grandchildren.
Barack Obama was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii. Because he spent 15 of his most formative years in Hawaii, it is easy to see how Hawaii is still so much a part of him. Ann Dunham and Barack Obama got married in Maui. On August 4th, 1961, their baby Barack Obama Jr. was born at Kapiolani Hospital in downtown Honolulu.
He was raised in an atmosphere of trust, of toleration, of welcoming, all of which reflected the Hawaiian spirit, the aloha spirit, which is best characterized right up until today, that diversity defines us rather than divides us.
Hawaii's a wonderful place to grow up. It's very family-oriented. His grandfather would come to our classroom to pick him up pretty regularly.
The image that comes to me from when he was a little boy, especially with his grandfather, is mostly one of fulfilling curiosity. In other words, his grandfather took him everywhere, wanted to show him everything, make him a participant in everything. You can see in Senator Obama and his discipline, his self-discipline, his self-assuredness, his self-confidence. Much of that is reflected in two ways. Obviously from his mother in terms of her ambitious nature, her adventuresome spirit, her scholarly discipline, and from his grandmother. His grandmother was in the banking business, went into the banking business, and rose very quickly. She became a vice president of one of the major banks.
In 1961, when Barack was born, she was a secretary in the escrow department. Madeline Dunham proved to be a very hard worker. She was rewarded with several promotions, and in 1970, she ended up becoming the first female vice president at the Bank of Hawaii.
She was a mentor and a role model for many young women in Hawaii. I've been at meetings where that kind of accolade was extended to her by young women who are now lawyers. They're in business. They're doing very, very well economically, socially, and they attribute much of the encouragement to Barack Obama's grandmother. So he had a very, very solid foundation in values.
After 3 years in Indonesia, his mother wanted him to have an American education. Barack was sent back to Honolulu to live with his grandparents and to attend the private and very prestigious Punahou School. While at Punahou, he lived with his grandparents on the 10th floor of a modest apartment building located a few blocks from school. While all his classmates lived in single-family homes, Barack was the only one who lived in an apartment.
You know, I really realize in retrospect that it's not easy being the new kid, particularly when there are very few new kids coming in with you. Even in 5th and 6th grade, you could see that he had, you know, a very curious mind. He was always asking questions and, you know, real intellect. He was, again, he was somebody who I'm not surprised that he's come as far as he has.
You know, he was very articulate, and he spoke well, he wrote well, and he never got in trouble, not that I recall. He never got any interims. So academically he did well. Citizenship-wise, he kept his nose clean. He was very polite, and it doesn't surprise me, that because he was a good person and courteous and polite, that he attracted a lot of people. People were sort of gravitated towards him. He was very charismatic then.
Punahou is a school that was founded by missionaries, Protestant missionaries, and part of Punahou's education is a Christian education, and we have to go to chapel. We
all went to chapel. It was a very big part of the school. The chapel it's right on the campus, and it's a part of the learning experience there.
Barack Obama's first job as a teenager was to work at a Baskin-Robbins located in the block behind his grandparents' apartment building.
There was a Baskin Robbins, but you see, that wasn't viewed as a bad thing, at least in our world, in my world. I mean, if anything, working at Baskin and Robbins, and so, I mean, that was, you know, once again, that's an all-American thing. You know, you work in an ice cream parlor. You know,
Many of the positive attributes found in Barack Obama are a product of being raised in Hawaii. In an article in U.S. News and World Report, Obama made note of his even temperament, which he claims he draws from Hawaii. Obama said people in Hawaii generally don't spend a lot of time, yelling and screaming at each other. He said there is a cultural bias towards courtesy and trying to work through problems respectfully. Obama claims this Hawaiian temperament is reflected in his personality as well as in his political style.
He is the American dream. He is. There is just no doubt about it. What he was able to do and what his family sacrificed, and just get there with a pure heart, and it just really shows that things are possible, and it's not just saying you can be anything you want, but really seeing somebody achieve that. Because he said it before, and if you were gonna bet on somebody from that just by their bio, he would have been somebody that you probably would have overlooked. But what you would have overlooked is his heart and his character, and that's what we saw back then. That's what I see now.
I'm not surprised that I have a classmate who's running for president, and that it's Barack Obama, because even as kids, I think it was pretty clear that he was a very special person.
I turned to my wife and I said, he's going to run for president. He doesn't maybe know it yet, but he's going to be president of the United States, because he is what we need in the 21st century. He is going to be this child of Hawaii. He's this product of this union of different worlds coming together with the solid foundation of Hawaii, this diversity defining us, not dividing us. I was confident of it. I just knew it. There's no way that it's his destiny. It's fate has decreed it.